if she had two sisters, I would say that's definitely the Norns.
Yeah, the only thing is that her only counterpart seems to be the old guy with one eye.
I know, and that's what's throwing me off. Hey YouTube, welcome back to our channel. My name is Elena.
And I'm Björn.
And we're Viking Age reenactors and living historians here to talk with you about your favorite Viking shows.
We are officially halfway through Ragnarok and about to start episode 4. I think we're at the stage now, since we're halfway through, where it's all going to start to come together and start to get explained, which I've been waiting for this whole time. Mm-hmm. So, really excited about that, and let's get into it.
Yep.
I did not know they were collectively referred to as chaos monsters.
I think I've heard the term before, but I never attributed it to Norse mythology specifically. I thought it was just like a game term, maybe?
It seems like a game term.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like a weird Illuminati thing.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. Like, I want to trust it. I want to say that that's true.
I mean, I have no doubts that it's true. If it's not, it's true now. Because, like, hey, what do we call all these chaotic monsters? Chaos monsters. Well, yeah, alright, cool, yeah, alright, sounds good to me.
Det var en slagmakt, det var totalt kaos. Siden det store slaget så har det ikke vært noen andre enn oss.
Nei, men nå er de tilbake. Og det krever handling.
So are they talking about Ragnarok?
Yeah, I assume.
I'm assuming
They're
that's what
talking
they're
about Ragnarok,
So,
yeah, when all of them have been dead for 1,000 years and stuff.
So that would mean that everybody that is currently here are survivors of Ragnarok, so we can't be talking about any of the old gods that perished during it.
Well, we can talk about them, but...
I just mean...
Technically, they wouldn't be there
in
existence anymore. So, like, Odin would be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other ones that died in Ragnarok, because there's so many. The biggest reason why I paused it was because they were referring to the gods as them, as they, and, like, not us and we. Which is interesting, because Vidar, at least, should be considering it a we thing.
Yeah, well, Vidar...
Or a me thing, at least.
Vidar is half giant, so if he did ally himself with the Jotuns after Ragnarok, then he could be considering himself a giant.
Yeah, I mean, most of the gods are half giant, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
so is Magni, so...
Yeah, exactly. Well, Magna's like 3/4 giant. Even.
Yeah, true.
And like even Odin was birthed himself from the unity of one giant in the very beginning. So he's fully giant, but then he also started the Aesir race, so then he's fully Aesir. So it's weird.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It's a whole
genetics.
Yeah, it's a whole conglomerate of things.
Ooh, it gets messy after a bit, huh?
Foreslår at vi prøver å finne oss av det. Før vi går til krig.
Maybe he is just like them. He just destroyed a tree. Destruction of nature. I mean, I get it. He was testing his strength and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's kind of interesting set against the backdrop of them talking about whether he's an enemy or an ally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we know that they destroy nature.
Yeah, and it kind of plays on the fact that like even he doesn't really know, you know, which makes it all the more fun. But also just the fact that he just punched down a tree. Like, yikes.
Mjød. Norrøn mytologi.
I don't recognize the drawing. The only thing that springs to mind is when Thor lost his hammer in one of the other stories, and he sought the help of like a witch, essentially, to try to get it back, and so she gave him like his gloves and belt and stuff, and she gave him like a staff to wield instead of the hammer in the meantime until he could get it back. But that's the only thing that really comes to mind at all. I don't really remember her like, you know, bestowing his magical strength onto him or anything like that. So I'm not sure if they're trying to draw some kind of parallel with that or if they're inventing a little bit of their own mythology here. It seems like the latter. I guess at least as a way to kind of explain how Magnus, strength suddenly like awoke in him, I guess. But from what I can recall, I can't think of anything that would kind of relate itself directly to, any story of Thor.
Jeg så meg selv i speilet i går. Jeg så ikke ut som meg selv. Jeg så
Thor.
Thor.
She did just say that he looked like Thor,
Thor.
which is interesting.
Well, he looked like Thor,
Yeah, I suppose.
Every son looks like their
Thor's,
father.
Yeah, Thor's son, I suppose. I'm starting to think that she might just be some sort of a witch, maybe?
Yeah. Some kind of vulva.
Yeah, because we hear a lot of stories in Norse mythology about, witches. There's one that gave Odin a lot of his knowledge about what would happen up till Ragnarok. Like, there's a whole poem about it. Yeah, so we have that, and we also have, the three Norns, who aren't exactly witches, but they're the ones that weave people's face. If she had two sisters, I would say that's definitely the Norns.
Yeah, the only thing is that her only counterpart seems to be the old guy with one eye.
I know, and that's what's throwing me off.
Well, the thing is, Freya, but, there's an argument to say that Freya and Frigg are the same person. But Freya was seeress, and she taught Odin magic, so there's room to speculate that she might be Freya/Frigg.
Yeah, the question is, did she survive through Ragnarok?
That is a question.
Like, do we have gods here that were thought to die in Ragnarok,
But secret they survived.
but survived it?
If Odin managed
But-
to fake his own death via getting eaten by a wolf, I'm just impressed.
Kudos to him.
Like, well done. Show me how.
Here's the thing. Odin knew what would happen. He had the knowledge that Ragnarok was going to happen. He knew what would happen during Ragnarok. He also knew what would happen after Ragnarok. And the thought process goes in a lot of conversations with people that discuss Norse mythology is that he went to his death knowing that he had to die for the world to keep continuing on the way it is going to be. But what if he knew either a way to survive or that he was going to survive, but he couldn't let anyone know that? Because he was also a trickster. He was very much as much of a trickster as Loki is.
I think he's a liar. Yeah.
Yeah, and
he's
he's a
absolutely.
liar.
It's what he's all based on, is just deception.
So if in this world of this Netflix series that is Odin and he did survive Ragnarok and he's still around, I would absolutely not be surprised.
Og det noen som kan fortelle meg hva Ginnungagap betyr, Aisha?
I vikingenes skapelsesberetning så Ginnungagap stedet hvor kulde og varme møtes, og verden blir til.
Ja, men hvem var jentene? Hilde.
Var ikke de litt sånn som troll? De onde i historien, liksom? Nei, det en totalt ensidig fremstilling.
Du skal vel si noen som disse jentene var redde for?
Me.
Me. Everything they said is pretty much true.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're using this classroom as like a lesson for the viewers.
Yeah, I do
It's kind
too.
of fun.
I do too. Even to the point of getting giants mixed up with trolls, because at a certain point in a lot of the mythology and the folklore, they kind of do become kind of like synonymous with each other, I guess. It's pretty much interchangeable after a certain point, So I don't know if this is necessarily historically based specifically, or if it's just kind of me going on like a little bit of a tangent or word association. But I think trolls were more originally just kind of like spirits, kind of like Nisir, or like any kind of like forest dwelling, pagan-y kind of heathen creature. And then, like, after Christianity, they kind of just became giants. Like, they all kind of got lumped together
I wonder...
to be some weird, like, just stand-in definition of pagan creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder if maybe language also had something to do with it.
Yeah, it could have been.
Maybe translations got all clumped together and, somehow they ended up under the same name category or something like that.
Ja, du kjenner kanskje Aisha?
Hvorfor skal jeg kjenne Aisha?
Did we just catch, like, a little bit of racism there?
I think so.
Just a little bit of really obvious racism. Wow.
There was something that we didn't quite talk about. I think it was last episode when they were in the car and they had the music going. One of them asked what language it was.
Oh yeah, I think
he said,
he was asking what language it was.
Yeah, and I think Fjord said the old tongue, and then his sister was just like, it's Icelandic, you know, just so they wouldn't ask questions.
Yeah.
The cool thing about that is that Icelandic is the closest that we will get to Old Norse.
Yeah, in the modern day, it's the closest language that we really have to Old Norse.
Yeah.
Just because, obviously, the Vikings settled Iceland and went there, and because it's an island, it's so far removed from everything, it's a lot slower to change and develop, because they're kind of locked in their own culture, so it stays relatively consistent, at least over a longer period of time. I've kind of heard it equated as well, that, like, Old Norse is to Icelandic, that, like, Middle English would be to modern day English or something, just like writing, like, Shakespeare or Chaucer or something weird like that,
Yeah, exactly.
It's
still,
like,
it still changes, but...
Yeah, like, it's really weird and it's a little bit, like, tough, but you can, like, still kind of get the gist. You can still, like, understand it all, really, but it's just, like, it's definitely bizarre,
Hør på oss. Vi snakker ting I hjel. Alle skal være så fordømt like nå for tiden. Jeg like før jeg skal be min egen kone om tillatelse.
It was said in Norse mythology that after Ragnarok, after Odin dies, Vidar would be the one that was left to lead the earth and lead the gods and giants and stuff like that. So he is essentially the one that is supposed to be in charge. He's the new Odinic figure, essentially. Like we talked about before, the weird thing about him and, giants here in general is that he is supposed to be, the one that protects nature, and he's supposed to be of nature, and instead he's doing the complete opposite. He's destroying it. So I can kind of see as him being the one that is left in charge as the head of the deities, essentially, for him to kind of be like, oh, what do you mean I have to ask other people for permission?
Are you kidding me?
Jeg blir så litt bedre etter at jeg trappet brillene.
Hva som flyr oppi der da?
Det en fjellbokk. Så når jeg...
Thor/Magna's eyesight was never really like a focal point of their abilities or anything. What it does relate to, though, is Heimdall. Heimdall is described as as the god who can see forever. Basically, he can see the grass grow. That's one of the fabled things that he's able to kind of bear witness to, and it's because of that Heimdall watches, kind of at the edge of Bifrost, for when the armies of the dead come and lay siege against Asgard and Midgard, and Ragnarok starts. He's the one who blows the yellow horn to signal the rest of the gods that it's time to die. So just wanted to make a quick note of that, because it is a little bit based in mythology.
Yeah, it really seems like they're kind of throwing a lot of things at him.
Yeah.
Increased strength, increased speed, increased eyesight, increased appetite, basically anything that's not human, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even Thor wasn't really known for his cardio, let's be real. But at least it still makes sense, just being very athletic and physically capable and stuff. So at least that kind of makes more sense. But the eyesight thing is totally bonkers. It's one thing for his eyesight to go back to normal, but it is a little bit bizarre to me to have it so, like, precisely accurate that he can make out the gunk in a specific species of eagle's eye from, like, 2,000 feet or whatever, like, insane.
Yeah.
Kan du huske det gamle landet? Kampen. Lodrene som blir seg til strides. Skiller dere fart med tunga? Ikke það. Eimon yður hafðask og bitharet þeirri hafið unni.
So I think it's interesting that he just brought all that up because I just mentioned the Gjallarhorn. So that's fun.
Mm-hmm. Also, now he knows that Magnet is absolutely not an ally.
Yeah, right?
In any of this.
Right? Which means that he's going to try to kill him now.
Yeah.
So this will be a fun next 3 episodes.
Oh.
2 and a third, a fourth.
2 and a third.
2 and a fourth. 2 and a quarter.
He just called the dog
Thrym. Yeah?
Weren't we talking about the Lay of Thrym?
Yep. So Thrym should be dead. Because Thrym got his head caved in.
Yeah, I don't think the dog is Thrym. I'm wondering if he called the dog after him.
Well, he said, become what you once were to the dog. I think it is the giant Thrym. Like, I don't see any other reason. Like, they're all named after actual gods and giants and stuff.
Yeah,
like, why not?
No, I'm just wondering if that is actually him or if he just named the dog after him as like a namesake. Although we did just see his eyes turn yellow just like the rest of the giants, so that's
my point
very
exactly.
suspect.
It's my point exactly.
Super, super suspect.
Nothing makes sense. Reality is flawed. He's gonna find her phone.
Oh.
He's gonna know what's going on. Because he knows all their secret places.
If she hit it, did she know that she was gonna die?
We're about to find out.
That was brutal.
It was pretty brutal. It was very quick. I don't know where the random bone came from.
Dog, you want a bone? That's all I could think of.
I like how drinking mead and having your blood spilled has the same effect for him in terms of being a god.
That was like a pretty quick little matchup.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how he's going to explain being drenched in blood. Oh, they had sex and everything. Wow. Must be fun.
Oh boy.
Du må aldri gå inn der. Forstår du det?
A little too late, pal.
Yeah.
Great explanation. They're reenactors.
I mean, sure, yeah, I guess. Why not?
Hey, we reenact all of the ages.
Yeah. I still can't get past the literal Viking logo on the door.
It was in the shape of a V, but...
It was the shape of a V, and it was all, like, done up with the knotwork and stuff. Like,
yeah, but the Vikings logo also only has the knotwork on one side, and it looks almost steampunkish, which has always just, like, grated me a little bit.
Yeah, same, but still.
It's just more of the knotwork of the design of the house.
Yeah. In the shape of a V. For very important secrets don't come in. Every mother's dream.
Oh.
Dude, shower first.
Oh, why would you do that?
Herregud. Hva som har skjedd?
So it's really interesting and actually really fun to see them actually starting to talk so candidly about Norse mythology as well, and like the old world and what was happening during the Viking Age.
You're talking about the characters
Almost.
interacting with themselves, or like the classroom stuff?
The characters within, like,
Like to each other.
yeah, to each other, like the deities talking about it, because now, you know, there was, you know, the inkling that, you know, oh, these must be the Jotuns because their last name is Utul, so, like, obviously they must be the giants. But, like, now we know for sure that's exactly what they are, and it's kind of interesting to see that all coming together and them starting to talk so candidly to each other about all of it.
Right. Definitely love that. It's really starting to, like, just come out into the open and be, like, very forthcoming with all of it. It's no longer, like, a secret between them all.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that.
And yeah, the classroom stuff is really fun too. I
Yeah.
kind of wish that the classroom stuff was involved in every episode. Like
Me
that there
too.
would just be a
Yeah.
classroom scene in each episode where they just talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And that's just like the topic of the class. But regardless, like it's cool to see it sprinkled in. Out of like 2 out of 4 episodes I've had it now. So
yeah, like the first
bad.
and the fourth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
it's not bad.
Yeah, definitely. I will certainly take it. You know, it's a cool way to kind of get the whole classroom talking and get, you know, Magnan Saksa thinking and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should just have like a cutout of us just like looking through books to be like, Yeah. You good, Rabbit Nose?
Yeah.
Sounds like gusto, appreciation, indifference,
Not appreciation, but
Magikarp,
like when you
pasta. I'm hungry. Write a comment for what you think word she's thinking of. If you can guess the word she's thinking of, put a comment below. You know, instead of singing the song, you could be thinking about this word that you're trying to come up with. Because apparently that's happening. Wow. Dear YouTube, my wife.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of our future videos. And we will see you in the next one.